What do you do when heaven feels quiet? When prayers seem to echo back empty? This is a message for the waiting, the weary, and the ones still hoping, even in the silence. Opening Scripture, Lamentations chapter 3 verse 25 and 26. The Lord is good to those whose hope is in him, to the one who seeks him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. When heaven goes quiet, God, are you even there? Silence is one of the hardest tests of faith, especially when we're doing everything right, praying, fasting, believing. But sometimes God is silent not because he's absent, but because he's working in the unseen. Key points. Silence doesn't mean separation. Silence often comes before elevation. Silence reveals what noise can't. Job, silence in the storm. Job chapter 1 and 2. Job chapter 23 verse 8 to 10. Job lost it all: family, wealth, health, and yet God didn't say a word for a long time. Job said, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I do not perceive him. Yet in verse 10, he says, but he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. What we learn: silence is sometimes God's classroom. Job's faith matured in the silence. God finally speaks in Job 38, but the silence refined Job first. Hannah, silence and shame. 1 Samuel chapter 1. Hannah endured years of silence, while Peninnah mocked her, and others assumed God had forgotten her. But in the silence, she poured her soul out to God. Her prayer was whispered, and heaven heard it. Truth. Sometimes God is silent because the timing isn't right. God's no was actually a not yet, until Samuel's appointed time. She birthed not just a child, but a prophet for a generation. Jesus, silence in Gethsemane. Matthew chapter 26 verse 36 to 46. Even Jesus, the Son of God, prayed 3 times in Gethsemane for the cup to pass. But heaven said nothing. Silence wasn't rejection. It was confirmation of the mission. Silence isn't punishment, it's preparation. Jesus teaches us to say, not my will, but yours be done, even when it hurts. After the silence came the resurrection. What silence teaches us about timing and faith? It tests your trust, not your worth. It reveals your foundation, feeling, or faith. It grows spiritual muscles you'll need later. It prepares you for what you prayed for. How to respond when God is silent. Don't stop praying, pray deeper. Romans chapter 8 verse 26. The Spirit intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Anchor in His Word. Even when God isn't speaking, His Word still does. Return to the last thing He told you. Worship in the waiting. Silence is a test. Worship shows you trust Him without proof. Don't isolate. Speak with godly counsel. Like Eli was to Hannah, or Eliphaz at first was to Job. Call to the waiting. If you are in a silent season, don't lose heart. Don't confuse God's silence with God's absence. He is closer than you feel. He is working even when you don't hear Him.